Hi guys, Ian Johnson from DriveSuccess.com. Today we're going to talk about the importance of defining your company's value chain, and we're going to use your value chain in that definition in order to define your company's value assertion. Okay? And basically your value assertion is your declaration to your market about the value that you bring to your customer base. And it comes from your value chain because your value chain is going to outline two essential criteria of your business strengths. It's going to talk about your internal business strengths and your external business strengths, okay? So we're going to get started with the value chain. I'm going to show you how to put your value chain together, and I'm going to show you what role that value chain plays within your value assertion, okay? So again, we're going to look at your internal and your external business strengths within your value chain. So we're going to keep this value chain very simple. We're going to do basically 6 rings, 6 links within the chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, okay? And we're going to start off the first portion of the value chain by talking about your company's supply chain, okay? In fact, your supply chain is your first and most important aspect of your value chain, okay? So this is your supply chain. Your supply chain brings value to your market by allowing you to shorten your product to market lead times, okay? So if you have a certain philosophy that you use in terms of how you manage your vendors, and if that philosophy allows you to shorten your product to market lead times, then that's an extremely important aspect of your value chain that your customers should at some point understand, okay? So when we look at the value chain, we look at things relating to vendor management, okay? No, so basically, do you have vendors that are in close proximity to your location? Does that allow you to shorten your product to market lead times? Are you able to quickly pull in materials and raw materials and spare parts at a moment's notice? How you manage your vendors defines the first most important aspect of your value chain, which is the supply chain, okay? So we're going to summarize that up with vendor management and strategies, okay? Now the second aspect of your value chain is going to include your operations. Now when a company looks at its operations, okay, a lot of companies say, well, there's nothing really special about our operations. You know, we just have internal processes that allow us to basically manage customer orders. But that's not always true, okay? Companies kind of overlook their operational capabilities. And what you want to do in this case is you want to look at those things that relate to, you know, perhaps you have an ERP system or an MRP system, okay, or a CRM system. You know, there's a lot of companies out there that manage everything internally by Excel spreadsheets. And if you're not one of those companies that does that, that's a portion of your value that you bring to your market. I mean, to be able to cut down on data entry errors and key entry errors and all these other things, that's huge. That's huge for a customer. If I'm a customer and I go to a vendor and I see them managing everything with, you know, Excel spreadsheets and Word documents, I'm pretty worried about how they manage their internal processes. So if you've got strengths within your ERP and MRP and CRM systems, those are portions of your operational strengths that you should talk about, okay? The next aspect where you want to look at is your research and development, okay? What strengths do you have in research and development that allow you to basically excel in product innovation, okay? So basically, I'll give you an example. I have a customer, I have several customers in fact. Basically, they're small manufacturers, but they all are very good in terms of engineering, design, and capabilities. So what they have is they have a rapid prototyping stage, okay? So they have a rapid prototype stage that allows them, to basically increase their turnover rates in terms of bringing products to market. So this ability to quickly turn over designs and quickly bring products to market, that's a portion of their value chain that is summarized within their engineering capability. So that's an essential portion of their value chain. Not all companies have that ability, okay? The second aspect, the fourth aspect perhaps, so let's take a look at product management, okay? Now I'm just going with basically an example of what a value chain might look like. It might look differently for your company, and that's why you have to map it out. When you look at a product management, you know, how do you manage, you know, you may have a situation where your product managers manage vendors, okay? They manage strategic partnerships, okay? They may manage their market, okay? They may manage the market, and let's say a brand. You know, what role does your product managers, what do they play? What role do they play in terms of bringing value to your customer base? Do they interface with your customers? Do they provide direct end user support? So that's a portion of your value chain that you should basically understand, okay? The fifth portion, let's say, is marketing and sales, Okay? Now, basically, your strength in marketing and sales allows you to bring good products to market. So that's a portion of your value chain that perhaps is stronger in your value chain than maybe some of your competitors, okay? So don't be afraid to talk about your strengths in marketing and sales. You know, that ability, like I said, allows you to bring good products. If you know your market, then you're constantly able to turn over good products and to improve those products for your customers. So let's just say product offering, okay? Offering, and we'll sum it up by saying market knowledge. Finally, we're going to take a look at customer service. Okay? If you are able to distinguish your service offering by excelling in customer service, that's got to be a portion of your value chain, okay? So let's say customer service excellence. Okay? So what role would customer service play? In terms of your value chain, when you come across an issue with a defective product or an issue that relates to the quality of your product, this is where it becomes a continuous feedback loop within your value chain. Any issues that are encountered here are backtracked through the supply chain and all the way through operations, research and development, product management, marketing, and sales. So when a customer makes a complaint, you're able to backtrack it all the way to the beginning of your value chain. Now, why is your value chain so important, and why is this process so important? Again, when you map out your value chain, it's going to be different, okay? You know, you're going to start off with your supply chain, but maybe you don't have research and development. Maybe you're a distributor or a value-added reseller, okay? But maybe this portion of your value chain pertains to your ability to have inventory at a moment's notice, okay? And quick inventory turns and product availability is a strength for you. The reason why you come up with your value chain and you use it to define your value assertion is because when I work with customers, one of the biggest issues that I come across, especially with the smaller manufacturers and smaller companies, is that the way a business owner or a high-level executive defines their company's value to their customers is always different from how the employees define it. And part of that comes from the fact that a business owner and a high-level executive has perhaps spent more time in this entire value chain working amongst these individual departments and internal processes. So when they get a chance to speak to a customer, they're better able to explain their value chain because they've either built it up themselves or they've worked through it over time. New employees, salespeople, they don't have as much conviction in terms of defining the value chain as much as a business owner would or a business professional. Now, it's not their fault. It's up to the business owner and business professionals, or basically the management professionals, excuse me, that we should take the time and define what the company's value chain is. You use this value chain in order to get your customers to ask questions concerning your supply chain. You want them to inquire about how you manage your vendors. You want them to understand that you have a CRM system, an ERP system. You don't manage it on Excel spreadsheets. You want them to understand that you have the ability to turn around quick designs. You want them to understand your strengths in product management. Now, the purpose here is not to just regurgitate all this information. It's not to ramble on about it. But when your salespeople and your business development people understand your unique value chain, they're able to define that value to their customers much more easily than if they didn't have this entire process mapped out. So that's it. Define your value chain, use it to define your value assertion, do a unique value chain analysis, define each portion of your value chain, and make sure your business development people understand that and can answer your customers' most pressing concerns and biggest questions. So that's it. Ian Johnson, driversuccess.com. Bye-bye.